Lucky Boys Podcast.
I just watched The Eternals the other day, and as a comic book fan, I absolutely loved the movie. I highly recommend it. But my biggest gripe was Gemma Chan, who I absolutely love as an actress, and I have a huge crush on her. If she ever sees this, please call me. She was fantastic, and I love that we had an Asian female lead for an MCU film.
Don Lee was also the Korean actor.
Yes,
was also
Don
in the
Lee
movie.
and Kumail Nanjiani, who was fantastic, by the way.
Hilarious.
And my biggest gripe was, and the way I perceived it was, her two main love interests were two Caucasian men. In my opinion, the way I looked at it, and I asked a couple of my Asian sisters, it can be perceived as further hypersexualization of Asian women, being viewed as exotic and eye candy or submissive or whatever. I wouldn't say submissive because of her performance or anything like that, but then also the Asian man, what's his name, Henry, wasn't the Korean actor?
Don Lee.
Don Lee, sorry.
Yeah.
Don Lee's character was paired up with Angelina Jolie's character for much of the film, and there was not any romantic tension in there, but you can very well see that he was clearly, he had such love
Affection.
such affection. Probably, it wasn't implied to be romantic or anything, but he was giving her Angelina Jolie's character so much affection, and man, it just
They made him out to be a simp?
Not a simp, but it was definitely like he was I got the
You're
vibes.
frustrated right now. Just say it.
I got the vibes that he was like friend zoned hard.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I
And
see,
then
I see.
I looked at that as an Asian man as further demasculinization of us.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's I wish we were having these conversations more often. I wish that tragedies didn't have to happen for us to be having these conversations. I wish we didn't have to have these conversations, because if we didn't, I wish we could just be treated like any other race or any other.
You brought up a good point there, because I spoke to a lot of, even the Asian males that reach out to us, they they're frustrated that Asian males are put in this spotlight where they're not cool, and it's weird to date them if you're a white woman,
Right.
or if you're any other woman other than Asian, and you're dating an Asian man. It's strange, and it's almost seems like you're not really dating a man.
And also, if an Asian man is dating a white woman, it's a lot of times, depending on the culture you're with or the group of friends you're with, you're almost praised for dating. Like, at least in my home country of Indonesia, when an Indonesian man is dating a Caucasian woman, it's like, oh, wow, good job.
Yeah.
Great job.
But it's the same way the other way around.
No, it's definitely the same
with
way
With
around.
Asian women dating a white man, it's a social status symbol.
It is a social status symbol, but it's like, it's so much more achievable for, say, an Asian woman, at least in my home country,
Oh, for sure.
to date a foreign white man than a Indonesian man to find a foreign white
Well, I
woman.
think media, that just goes to show you the power of media.
Yep. We are as Asian men, we are so demasculinized, like between all the frankly negative and not even accurate stereotypes that are placed solely against Asian men. I don't think I need to discuss what they are, but I mean, look at like dating websites, right? If I'm not mistaken, the statistic
right.
is that Asian men generally have the hardest time on dating apps, or they are frequently not
Like they
perceived.
swipe, what is it, left or right?
Swipe left the most, if I'm not
left
mistaken.
That means I'm not interested.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I look back at my own personal dating life 10 years ago, where I loved, I particularly, I liked dating white women. And oftentimes I would get, oh, sorry, I don't really date Asian men. That was the narrative from my personal life 10 years ago. And you fast forward to like only a couple of months ago, and I've made changes in my life, my personality. I've grown, not changes in personality. I've grown into my own, into the person you see before you. And I'm having these conversations with women, particularly white women, on dates. And the narrative is, oh, you know what? You're pretty good looking.
For an Asian. I got that line thrown at me the first time by a black girl that I went to school with. She was my classmate when I was in 4th grade.
Right, but why does our
Right, and then I asked, I was like, well, what does that? And I was so confused by that. I was like, well, what does that mean? Like, are we ugly? And she goes, yeah, Chinese boys don't usually look good. And I was like, really? I was like, says who? And then she goes, that's what everyone in school thinks. I was like, what? So I started asking the Spanish girls, the Italian girls, the other white girls, and I'm just like, and they're like, yeah, Chinese guys, aren't
attractive.
That really got me.
It got me
Juiced
really
up
upset.
at 4th grade. How old are you when you're in 4th grade? What are you? What's that?
I don't know, 8, 9.
I mean, geez.
Lucky Boys Podcast.